Let them be. Leave me out the comments, leave me out the nonsense. Speaking out of context, people need some content. Niggas trying to keep up, shit is not a contest. Whipping bands concept, heaven sent, God sent. At least it's what my mom says, proof is in the progress. Money's not an object, busy than a motherfucker. Walking up the wrong tree, you know how the dogs get, haven't fallen off yet. Leave me out the comments, leave me out the nonsense. Speaking out of context, people need some content. Niggas trying to keep up, shit is not a contest. Whipping bands concept, heaven sent, God sent. At least it's what my mom says, proof is in the progress. Money's not an object, busy than a motherfucker. You know how my job get, barking up the wrong tree. You know how the dogs get, haven't fallen off yet.
Born with a classic, they call around years later and say it's a sleeper. The ears are red, the petty is red. I'm watch your clients for a feature. Deposit the money to Brenda Lakeisha, Alinda Felicia. She gave me twice, I didn't even for a question. You know I'm a pleaser. 42 millimeter, just made it Geneva. Yeah, I probably should go to Yeshiva. We went to Ibiza. Yeah, I probably should go live with Yeezy. I need me some Jesus. As soon as I started confessing my sins, he wouldn't believe the sins. I got sins on my mind and some M's. Got Got a lot of M's on my mind and my friends. Yeah, I keep my friends on my mind. I'm in love with 2 girls at one time and they 10. Guess why I got 10 on my mind? I got M's. Got a lot of M's on my mind and my friends. Yeah, I keep my friends on my mind. Should repent. I need me some Jesus in my life. Algo salió mal, pero no me arrepiento. Yeah. Solo quiero el mar. Y hace tiempo no lo veo. Yeah. Yo digo fuego, yo pensé que el juego, nunca hubo límites, nunca entre nosotros dos. Yo digo fuego, yo al darle, nunca hubo límites, nunca entre nosotros dos. Los dioses nos dieron hambre, enviaron darme. Yo digo fuego, yo no pienso, nunca hubo límites, nunca entre nosotros. Every night was every day up. Every day patches the night up. Oh God, you should match it, it's that kill. No white lighter, still I fuck my 28th up. 1998, my family had the Acura. Oh, the legend. Kept at least 6 discs and a changer.
Back on Boswell and Percy headed active. Couple bishops in the city building mansions. Oh, the reverend. Preaching self-made millionaire started. When we could only eat at Shoney's on occasion. After Trina hit, I had to transfer campus. Your apartment, I didn't use is where I waited. Staying with you when I didn't have a address. Fucking on you when I didn't own a mattress. Working on a way to make it out of Texas. Every night. Baby, I'm home for my night. Yeah. No one can hear none of this. Spend the night. Oh my gosh. Wanna see the runner. Wanna die. Wanna feel it under the ride. Fuck with me at the marsh. For the boys, wanna see me go down. See me go down. Trip start. Every day. Shut the fuck up. I don't want this conversation. Rolling marijuana, that's a vacation. Every night.
See, the names have all changed since I've been around, but the game ain't the same since I left out.
So easy, you ain't even fooling him. If you did it then, and you popped it again. Talking out your neck, saying you're a Christian, a Muslim, sleeping with the gin. Now that was the sin that did Jezebel in. Who you gonna tell when the repercussions spin? Showing off your ass, cause you thinking it's a trend, girlfriend. Let me break it down for you again. You know I only said cause I'm truly genuine. Don't be a hard rock when you really are a gem, baby girl. Respect is just the minimum. Nigga, you still defending them now. Lauren is only human. Don't think I haven't been through the same predicament. Let it sit inside your head like a million women in Philly pen. And city girls sell they soul
She made me feel melodic. I just want feel on her body. She like to go do Pilates. I want fuck her like Jeff Hardy. I want fuck her on her tab. Take her to eat, even pick up the tab. Fucked to New York and I called her a cab. Brought her to Houston, I put her in slab. When I don't call her, little mama get sad. Yeah, I like her, I don't love her. I don't really have the patience. I just wanna swim and stay friends. I avoid the conversations about the shit that she be thinking. Sometimes I think that she drinking, but the pussy goodness gracious. When I was down, she held me down. I was lost, but now I'm found. Like the fresh air, I would've drowned. Swimming in the pussy, swim around.
These days, we gon' hook it up, probably talk on the phone. But see, I don't know if that's good. I've been holding back this secret from you. I probably shouldn't tell it, but if I let you know, you can't nobody. I'm talking about nobody. Are you responsible? Boy, I gotta watch my back, cause I'm not just anybody. Is it my goal, or is it your goal? Sometimes I'm good at good, right now I'm not at not. Say yes or say no, cause I really need somebody. Tell me you're that somebody. Boy, won't you pick me up at the park right now, up the block, while everyone sleeps. I'll be waiting there with my tricks, my loops, my hat, just so I'm low-key. If you tell the world,
Don't sleep, you know that would be weak.
oh boy, see I'm trusting you with my heart, my soul. I probably shouldn't let you, but if I
gotta tell them, bang, bang. Don't you know I am my man? Rock show here in Japan, have people shaking my hand, baby girl, better known as Ali. Give me goosebumps and hot beats, make it play haters believe. Don't you know? Gotta tell somebody.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I can teach you, but I have to charge. You want it? The thing that makes me. What the guys go crazy for? They lose their minds the way I want. I think it's time.
Smooth. That's one of the smoothest. You know it's a smooth show when I can smoke a joint while it's going on.
Let me have the other tripod so I can show what's up there. Y'all are bright enough behind this angle.
Okay, I'll get the what do you need?
You're just a tripod.
Here you go.
Can you turn that off? Cool. You wanna come in?
How you doing? Hey! How'd you get in here?
I know, right?
Again? Yeah, that shit's okay.
What? You broke in?
Yeah, no, that shit's okay. I crossed through that little like window. You gotta let me.
Test, 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 test. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Hello, 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 hello. My name is Snoopling. Blah blah blah. Check, 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 check. Anyway, yeah. Check, 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 check. All right, go. Check, 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 check. Normal speaking voice. 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 Wait, I think I heard that on a fucking. All right, I got our mics ready. Whenever you're ready. I think one is long and one is short. Hell yeah. Okay, so this is. So we got one short. I got one short and one long one. So let's give him the long one so he can stay there.
Give him the long one. We've been fighting for the long one.
And I'll start and I'll record.
We can put it on the side so it doesn't.
I could just use the whole mixer. There we go. That's plenty of like.
Dun, 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 dun. What were you saying?
Checkity check.
They got their mic?
Yeah, in the future, next time when we do this, it'd be good if we had like, I don't know, maybe music that we put on.
I could put on a track if you
Yeah,
need.
play something like chill in the background. Make your own didn't even stop.
I did. I'm sorry.
On this camera. Okay, we're good.
How to do it.
We're good.
Something I didn't play.
Thanks,
Go
Kevin.
ahead
I
and start
appreciate
the
you, man.
music,
I got you. Let me find something.
and I'll count you all in. First shot is gonna be on you.
Okay, here we go. Mario, thank you so much for doing this. This was so much fun, and honestly, this is our third show, and I think it's probably one of the smoothest that we've had so far, and I credit that to one, it's our third show where it's not our first rodeo, but your set is just so chill, and it's been such a chill, relaxing time. So thank you for being here first and foremost.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, one of the thank you. You how do you like it here at the JLFC studios?
It's beautiful. It's super beautiful. It's like super exciting. Super inspiring to just see it. I mean, just being in the studio ever. It's super fun.
I agree. It's a magical place. And one of the first questions that we have to ask, SLWKNG. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Tell me about the origins of this name.
Just as you said, it's a Pokemon reference. Super specific on like the Houston music scene. Chopped and Screwed. It's always been like literally a huge influence of mine, and Pokemon, of course. Everything about that kind of stuff in games and all those things, cartoons, anime, all that shit. It's all influence, all trying to put it all together.
See that, and that's what we thought. I mean, we're like obviously Pokemon, but there's got to be something deeper, maybe like with like reverb or slowness, and of course.
Yeah,
Houston,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's
SLWKNG.
it. Just like literally like slow music. I love slow music. I love pitching down things and just slowing down things in general. It just always sounds cool. You hear a lot more detail whenever you slow down things.
Screw, being a Houstonian, DJ Screw, may he rest in peace, has had his fingerprints over all of us, and some of the members in this group came from the Philippines, but they came younger, and they're bigger screwheads than me.
Right,
I'm really a
yeah.
huge screwhead, you know, so it's
That's so true.
The culture is just so pervasive and in the best kind of way.
Yeah.
How do you feel like that legacy kind of goes into your music?
I mean, I try to emulate what he did. I think the biggest thing for me is remix culture, and it's taking other people's art, and sampling culture is such a gigantic influence to me. It's like it's pretty much why I do things. It's because I love the idea of repurposing other stuff and paying homage to artists, you know, and it's a communal thing. It's a community thing, but with noise. So that's always been the goal.
I like that. Like remixing the collaborative efforts and taking something with a certain meaning, but getting a different meaning out of it. That's so exciting.
Precisely what I do, what I try to do.
As filmmakers, you know, the kind of art that we make, I almost feel like it's not complete until the audience sees that. And that doesn't go for everybody's art by any means. You know, famous poets or even artists have had their work discovered like hidden later. But for me, as a filmmaker, like I need the audience to see it so the work can be complete, so I can get their opinion.
Super true.
And then taking it and remixing it is that next level.
Yeah, it's truly like I want people to know that I appreciate this so much that I want to do something with it. You know, I want to show you how much I love it. Let me show you what I could do with it.
It makes me think of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, which I don't know about remix culture, but I know that song, he personally worked on it for like over a decade, on and off, and then he gave it to the other artists to work on and play with on and off until it finally reached Jeff Buckley in one of its more famous versions that's still often covered. And it makes me think of remixes. Like you get so much more, and the work evolves, and an idea can almost outlive the artist. It's kind of scary.
It's supposed to, though. You know, it's absolutely supposed to outlive the artists, and that's why I was talking about it earlier. You know, you can't own the noise, and it's infinite. You know, keep on going as long as you can continue to spread it in different ways. It's just like passing down stories, literally. So. Same exact concept.
Well, what part of Houston are you from?
Kind of close to downtown, north side, I guess it's called North Side Village.
All right.
But I was born and raised there, and I grew up in the East End. My grandparents lived in the East End forever, so like back and forth across 45 is my stomping grounds
So
forever.
your grandparents are natives of Segundo Barrio.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
What for me, I've recently come to this area. The studio kind of brought me here, and
Yeah.
then I kind of adopted this area, but only to find out later that my Mexican family used to live not too far either. And then another friend who moved from Montrose back to this area, who's Mexican, found out afterwards that he's living like a street away from the house he grew up in. So
Dude,
there's almost
it's-
like a reverse migration where
it's
it's like, yeah,
so-
we got
that is
away,
so
but now we're
true.
getting back. And for me, it's so rewarding being in this area because it echoes of that culture and history. What's that like for you to be, doing your first show in such a long time here in your grandparents' like stomping grounds?
I just look around. It's a super familiar place. One of my favorite venues is in the East End, which is called Super Happy Funland.
Oh,
that is
magical. Oh, wow.
It's literally the best. It's a rundown, asbestos filled old theater.
You will get tetanus there. and
Yeah, you
will
look
love
at it,
it.
you walk in and
You
it's
will
tetanus
love
like immediately. But everyone that I invite to go to a show there, they're like, "Oh God, it's so nasty," but it's the best place to play a show. It's so industrious and old and run down, and just something about that is so charming to me.
You know what? Shout out Flakies. I know it gets a lot of flack, but when you want pizza on Christmas
Oh, come
Eve
on.
at 3 a.m., they're there. All right, they're gonna. Oh wait. Oh, can you? Thank you. We have some other questions from some of our Joy Luck Film Club members that we wanted to get at you. We had a couple questions. How did you get started making music?
That's a
And we
huge.
kind of got into that through culture for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
the
definitely.
Houston
But
culture.
even more so, like the whole my first love was punk music and punk culture. But my family has my musical upbringing I owe to my family because everyone is a huge music nerd. So I've like the spectrum of all types of music. So not only that, but MySpace is a huge. MySpace had the most niche underground scenes of music, which and the do-it-yourself scene there was so heavy that I was like, okay, I can do this at the tender age of 14 years old.
Yeah, and
so I was like, I can do this myself.
the top 10 was like the first beta battleground
Exactly.
of popularity.
Oh my God,
like
yeah.
before likes and that kind of aggregator of like what was good. It was the top 10.
Yeah,
If someone got moved
exactly.
from it, there was like blood in the water.
Right. It's like,
my
you're
God.
off my top 8. What the hell?
Okay, so that all got you into music. How long have you been making music at Slow King?
So, it's a huge hobby, a big, a forever hobby of mine. I started the Slow King name about out of high school, maybe 2011. But before that, I was still making music, putting it out on stuff and sending it to friends and meeting people in the culture like that. But more out of high school, I was able to kind of focus on it more just because I had more time and a job and money to fuel it. So
when your
about that.
family would listen to music with you, like what was it at parties? Like for me, like you had lots of different music at like the family parties, and I have my uncles that are still there at 3 a.m. and just singing. Everyone turns into like an amateur singer after a few more beers.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
these,
definitely.
like, very emotive, expressive Mexican men just finally like belting out tunes.
Definitely,
that was how like my family. My
Yeah.
mom was like the mini DJ. She got me into all this like '90s hip hop music and stuff.
Oh, that's badass.
Like what was that? Was it similar? For you?
Similar, but we would also just drive around Texas a lot, so a lot of long drives, and truly, like, there's a bug in my family of being a music nerd. So I had aunts and uncles who were really into, like I said, the punk culture, and so they're just trying to put me on and just show me the coolest stuff possible.
That's
because
really
they thought it was cool, and they were big in the culture. So I was like, hell yeah, give me all that. I want to know every single thing.
It's a driving culture here. That's
Yeah.
totally a lot of my music and albums. Like I don't know if I would have gotten into them as much
Right.
or liked them as much if I didn't have to have these long drives where I needed something.
Exactly.
Some songs, some rides I'd measure in songs. I'm like, all right, they're like 2 Nina Simone songs away. That's like Sinnerman.
Yeah,
Twice.
definitely,
We can do
yeah.
this, like yeah. a couple other questions. We were wondering, what are you listening to right now? And which is like the quintessential question to ask any like music producer.
Right,
like
right.
what's hot, man? I've been digging Jersey City club music.
Jersey club is the
big
best,
into
dude.
Cookie,
Jersey.
Kawaii. It's like anime meets house meets hip hop.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's really based on footwork, which is okay. You know, it's a whole nother subgenre, but
fascinating.
Yeah, I love Jersey club and stuff. So those kind of stuff, that kind of stuff is great. I have a friend who's really into like footwork and Jersey club. He goes by the name Calico, and he's in the same hood.
Okay.
So shout out,
right.
plug the homies.
Keep that in mind. But yeah, what you jamming?
Man, just everything. Let me check really quick. What's been on the thing? Kind of just popular stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pop music.
Oh yeah.
Locals like Peyton. Peyton is a really awesome singer.
Awesome.
A lot of Spanish stuff. A lot of just like pretty much a lot of R&B and trap and stuff like that. But everything is touched at some point. Everything I want to listen to.
How do you think artists? We were talking earlier, and you said something so fascinating about how the way artists are making money now, or the old of expecting to make money off of sales or like album streams. It's not necessarily the way to do it. Like, how do you think as an artist here in Houston, like, what do you think the future ideally for you would be for like how artists should get paid?
Being part of the scene for so long, and I say so long like it's not like it's forever, but it's pretty much like a decade and some change. But doing shows and branching out and collaborating with people, and people are not going to pay for music, and it's not going to make money, but things like events, merchandise, co-signing with fashion houses, and you have all these small brands popping up, and they're doing awesome shirt drops and things like that. That's the stuff that makes money in my eyes. So tangible things, cool events, exclusive things, and just not music.
I've been thinking a lot about, especially in this last year, because it's like COVID happened, and I was doing video gigs and on and off, and that was sort of paying, but not as much. And then everything dried up, and I had to find other ways to survive. And now it's like commercial gigs hopefully are starting to come back, but you're just like, is that the same kind of work I want to go back to, or the same system if it's not taking care of me the way that I want? And then I think about Dave Chappelle, when he did that Unforgiven and the other drops, and he was like, let me just go directly to my boss. This is the people. And I've been I'm like, and obviously nowhere near Dave Chappelle greatness, but I'm like, he's an artist. He puts out a product. He goes to his people, and he seems very happy just doing that. And it's like, how can I do that on my scale, or other artists do that where we go directly to the people and just cut these middlemen out? I don't know.
It's
But
the eternal struggle. It's the eternal struggle. I mean, it's the starving artist. I don't know an artist that isn't starving. Like, it's crazy. A lot of recently, you hear a lot about this NFT crypto art.
Oh, so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's on everybody's mind, especially for artists. I think it's a great way, and it's messing up the economy in a really good way. So maybe that's the future. But a lot of like big installation events, and I think that would help a lot. VR even, there's so many ideas, things that are just based on screens, and social media that could be really profitable, I feel. But it's still a hustle no matter what. It's going to be a hustle.
You told me earlier that your mom came here from Mexico, Matamoros, right? Mm-hmm. Interesting. My Mexican side, at least on my mom's side, has been here a while. I know at least as early as like my great-grandmother was born in 1900 in Houston, so and I think her parents were here, so it goes pretty far back. And I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed, there's almost a culture break between the Mexicans that have been here longer and the ones that just got here. There's almost like you'd almost think there are two different people with two different types of goals.
Right.
You know,
I absolutely agree.
And what's it like being first generation to be quote unquote? I mean, I don't know how American you are, but you Americanized you are, but you
Right.
are first generation here. And then also seeing the kind of treatment or ideas that your family has gotten. What's that been like?
I mean, it's a loaded thing, and it's an everyday thing. Every day is a new situation. Man, it's a good one. I'm pretty Americanized, but being such a culture fiend, I've always dove back into my own family's culture, and I will never hesitate to ask 3,000 questions to my mom or to my grandma of what it was like. And then you have everybody. I have a lot of friends that are like just got here and not even born here that I ask about, the culture too. So
That's
it's
so
just
important.
like sponge it all up.
That is beautiful, and in some ways, I kind of envy you for that because if I ask my mom, she doesn't know what part of Mexico anybody came from.
Right.
She doesn't know anything. Like my mom doesn't even speak Spanish. So I feel like I'm outing my mom. But it's like and that's because my grandmother didn't teach it to her because
Right.
it was illegal to speak it out loud in Texas until like
Same, dude. I
1973,
don't
so-
speak it. I don't speak Spanish. I'm not confident in it.
Okay.
I could have a full conversation with me speaking in English and someone speaking to me in Spanish.
Okay, well that's more than me, buddy.
But
yeah.
it's still. I mean, the same though. Like why wasn't it ground into me? So I'm gonna out my mom a little bit.
I think it's the trade-off that we're all told. It's like, leave your shithole country, and you can come here and be an American, the dream and the epitome of greatness in the modern world, but you got to leave that shit behind. And
That's why we're here.
I think that's I think that we're stronger if we hold on to those things. Honestly, it'd be and maybe it'd be cool if if we dropped all that, we were Americans and we did get the same treatment as other Americans, but we don't. So it's like
That's so true.
we've abandoned all of that for what?
It's not worth abandoning, honestly, because
Yeah.
it's. I mean, even in a capitalist kind of way, it sells too. Other people's cultures sell like
They
crazy
want it.
here.
Exactly. They tell us to forget it, but that's exactly what they want at
Yeah,
the same time.
exactly.
You're totally right. Interesting. Well, for me, at least talking with other Mexican Americans, other Houston Mexicans, helps connect me to that and definitely gives me a stronger sense of community because we are Mexicans. This is what Mexicans are like now, and this is what we do.
Yep.
So that's really cool. Well, thanks, dude. What are you up to this year? Is there anything we should know about, man? You just dropped a mixtape of remixes, right?
Yep, a big mixtape of remixes. I hardly ever put out any music, but I'm sitting on so much stuff. I have thousands of projects just sitting there, and all my friends are constantly telling me, just put it out. And so it was just like within a day, I was like, all right, let me just throw this all online and let me push it as much as I can.
You totally should.
But that's always the goal is trying to do, and like I was talking earlier, a couple friends of mine want to do a lot of visual work and VR work and stuff like that.
Okay, and social media, where can we find you at?
Everything is at SLWKNG Slow King. Bandcamp, Twitter, Instagram. I post a lot of stuff on Instagram and pretty much everything. If you look that up, you'll find me on every platform as much as possible. YouTube too, everything.
Cool. Dope. Keep releasing stuff. And that's so fortuitous that you just had this drop and then we hit you up about this. Everything kind of lined up. So that's really cool. Do you guys have any questions just before I go? I don't want to make sure you guys good? Do you have one, Angela? Oh, what are your favorite movies, dude? Which is great because I see Dread in there, which is killer.
Yes.
Oh, that was so good.
I love Dread. I
Dread.
just watched that as I was making this visual project, and I love movies, dude. I love some of my favorite ones are like The Matrix, the entire trilogy of The Matrix.
What do you think about it coming back?
I'm ready for it.
And
Very hard.
It is. And the opinion that I've recently some friends and some people who I really respect their film opinion have been like, look, I've rewatched the trilogy. People did the second two dirty. Is what they said. They're like the last two. Like they're not as good, but I hear they're better on a rewatch.
And
I've not done it, but I hear they're better. So I don't know.
I just like the story, even if there's inconsistencies anywhere. I'm just gonna nerd all about the lore. All about the universe that they've created. Just give it to me.
This is embarrassing. I have listened to hours of lore videos on everything.
So
Star
have I.
Wars to Aliens to... I mean, some of the things I haven't even watched the original content or enjoyed it. I'm just like, what's the lore? Because I'm a lore head.
I do the same thing, dude. I'm a super lore head, especially recently with WandaVision and Marvel stuff.
It was so good. Are you disappointed that there was no man with the horns? Like, I think it was.
He was there. He
without
was
it.
there in the book, but you know what? Whatever.
I think it's good. I mean,
it's got to come back
Yeah.
because it was so good. I mean, it was so It's gonna be. It's gonna make another whole season, I'm sure.
Man, it was so sad. It had
Yeah,
me.
it
It
was
had
super
me crying
sad.
at the end. I don't know. I was
super emotional.
I'm like, why am I sad about this robot?
I didn't want it to go there, but it went there.
I thought that WandaVision is kind of a love story to television
Yes.
in that sitcom, and that's part of it. How can she love something that's not real, that's a figment that she's just created? But here we are on the other side of it, feeling that same thing. And so it was
so
very much
true,
like a
yeah.
love letter to TV and all things that are make believe and fake or whatever
That's
that
so
are still
true.
real to
That
us.
is so true. I absolutely agree.
Oh, you gotta watch when you get a chance. Snyder Cut all
Yeah,
the way.
I've been looking at
So
it on
good,
the.
dude.
It's been
So
popping up,
good.
and I'm like, man, it's such a long length, but
I would say
let
do
me
it
just
in
watch
pieces,
it.
but if you're like me,
Yeah.
as soon as you put it on, you're just not
Just
going
keep on
anywhere.
watching,
You're
yeah.
gonna like even if you tell yourself, you're just not
I'm gonna do
go
it.
anywhere.
I'll do it. I'll watch it.
Well, dope. Thank you so much, my friend. This was great.
I am honored to do this. It's super fun. I love the studio. The environment was great. Everybody's super cool.
Well, you're always welcome at Joy Luck Studios.
I'm down to do it again.